So one of the things I'd like to start talking about on this channel is kind of my interest in odd things and subsequently my interest in collecting odd things. Um, my interest in this has been for a while. It's been for years now, pretty much ever since I was younger. Um, but I never really acted upon it until maybe about 4 years ago. I don't know if any of you have seen the show Oddities. I forget actually what channel it's on. I think it's either on Sci-Fi or sometimes Discovery Channel, I think has it on, or History Channel. I don't know. Oh my god, I feel really stupid now. Anyway, there's a show called Oddities. You can look it up online. Um, I thought it was Discovery Channel, but I could be wrong because I usually watch it online, so I didn't really watch it on TV, which is kind of horrible. But anyway, um, and basically, if you watch it, it's about this shop called Obscura in New York City, and they have all these weird antiques, things made out of teeth and bones and skeletons and old medical technology, stuff like that. It's fascinating. Taxidermy, things that most people would consider like disgusting, and some of the stuff in there like are stuff that I wouldn't be interested in, and it's just like ugh. But other times some people bring in some fascinating stuff and it's like I would totally buy that. When I was a freshman in college, I took a seminar class, and basically it was a first year seminar, so it was only offered to first years. Now, when I looked at the list of seminars that I could take, they had different seminars on different things. I think they had one on like the Frankenstein monster that I was really contemplating taking. That was the other one that I was really going to take. There was one on the Frankenstein monster that I was just like, oh. And there were a few other ones, maybe on like art or whatever. But then there was one that was called Curiosities. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to take that because that's fascinating. And this class was amazing. And I'm actually kind of sad that I took it in the spring semester because had I taken something in the fall, I probably would have taken another first year seminar in the spring. But I took the Curiosities course, and I also took a my first entomology course was actually my spring semester freshman year too, and that was fascinating. We basically talked about P.T. Barnum, Ripley's museums, cabinets of wonder, museums that kind of showcase the same kind of things, like the Mutter Museum, and even the Museum of Natural History has a lot of like cool, weird stuff. Even like, well, not exactly like the Met Museum or like some of the art museums in New York, but a lot of museums still have a lot of stuff that could be considered oddities or curiosities that are just fascinating. Um, well, yeah, because bones are pretty fascinating. A lot of people collect bones. Now, because of oddities, a lot of curiosity collectors, it's become kind of almost like a trendy thing, or I guess people are a little bit more open to admitting to collecting these kind of things, because now it's kind of everybody sees it on oddities and they think, oh, well, that's kind of cool, you collect that. Whereas, I don't know, some of the people on oddities are a little strange too, don't get me wrong, but some of them are like fantastic. And I don't know, I think it's great. I think the show is kind of opening people up to the idea of collecting kind of stranger things. Because of my entomology classes, I was actually required to build an entomology collection. Um, so I have an entomology collection at home, which is awesome. It's actually too big for the box that I have. So I'm gonna have to get a new box because I even have like the chemicals and stuff and the pins, so I can actually continue building my collection. It's just that I don't have another box. I need to get another box because it's actually becoming too big of a collection. And I do want to actually talk about that in a different video at some point. But basically, I just wanted to showcase these books that I have that were from my Curiosities class if you wanted to know more, because it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. And I loved that course. And it's been 4 years later, and I still am like, I mean, it gave me an idea for a story that I'm writing. It was so fascinating. And I'm sure that Oddities has opened other people up to it. So why not? The first one is Mr. Wilson's Cabinet of Wonder by Lawrence Welshler. It's basically about this place called the Museum of Jurassic Technology, which basically has all sorts of weird stuff in it. And this ends up, it's basically the museum is kind of about opening people up to wonder, like all these strange things. Like the ants who get, like, you know, the certain fungi, like cordyceps, I believe, that actually like it's a spore and then it grows into the ant and it takes over their brain. It's crazy, like, you know, having pinned specimens of that like on show. It kind of goes a little bit into how people centuries ago used to collect things and would have cabinets of wonder, Wunderkammern. I hope I'm pronouncing that right in German. So it's got like a picture of like, it's a cool book. So it's about that museum, but it kind of goes into like different things. It's actually really fascinating. The second one, this one's really good, is To Have and to Hold by Philip Blom. And this is an intimate history of collectors and collecting. So this actually goes more into oddities and people who have collected them throughout the years. And God, this is just amazing. Like it mentions some different museums and like people who used to collect stuff, and a little bit on oddities, and it's in cabinets of curiosities that the kind of like from the 1700s to the 1800s people was exactly the sweet spot of history where people used to actually have cabinets of wonder. So it's kind of like a Victorian kind of thing, but awesome book. And it has an entomological collection on the front of the cover, which just makes me like squee. But if you're interested in like the history of collecting too, this is just really fascinating. Like even the books that are about this kind of stuff are just so much fun to read because they're just so fascinating. And the last one was part of my first year seminar, was not only about curiosities, but people who took that and kind of swung it around. So our last section of the seminar concentrated mostly on P.T. Barnum and his museums, which, as you guys probably know, he brought in a lot of people and kind of actually, I don't know, he was such a con man. It was amazing. It's amazing. Some of the crap he pulled, he would probably get arrested for today. I don't even, like, he would get so sued today. And Ripley, the Ripley's museums, which are always absolutely fascinating. So this one is The Colossal P.T. Barnum Reader, edited by James W. Cook. It's just, this is such a great book. I like P.T. Barnum. I'm so fascinated by P.T. Barnum, and this not only goes into like his life and the lives of the people he used in his scams and paid. Like it has like little autobiographical tidbits. It has certain little quotes from him. It has things that he used to have on in his museums. and accounts from like people who he used. So like from some of his sideshow people, like General Tom Thumb, the Miniature Man. Um, it'll talk about that. Like it'll talk about Chang and Ang, the Siamese twins that used to tour with him. The railroad, the circus. It has pictures of like sideshow freaks. So like this was a bearded lady. Um, black rhinoceros. Bleh. I apologize. I'm like, my speaking is absolutely horrible today. Just so amazing. Here's Commodore Nutt, another man, and P.T. Barnum. Joyce Heth. She's cool. They paid her with whiskey. You can't get much more badass than that. And then you have just like, I don't know, interesting things. Barnum's Legacy. And I one day I will find the notes and I will actually talk more about this. But those are just the books that I kind of wanted to showcase and just wanted to blather on. So, hope you enjoyed, and I hope to approach this topic in the near future. So, yes, continue being strange. Many blessings.